All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of 3 Questions with Commercial Integrator. I am very lucky to be joined by James Foxall, President and CEO of Tiger Paw. James, thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate you having me. It's nice to get out of my house.
Well, Tiger Paw has been around for over 36 years. What has contributed to your company's longevity?
36 years is, I've come to really appreciate just how long that actually is. And thinking about these questions, the thing I always want to point back to is people. Taking care of our employees, taking care of our customers, I think are the two most important pieces. In fact, of our core values, our number one core value is to put people first. And our second core value is actually customers are people. So we're always thinking about not that that's a business or a person on the other end of the line who's a manager of a department or CEO. It's a human being that's trying to get something accomplished. And I think that spirit of taking care of our people and creating an environment for our people to take care of our customers is a huge part of that. And another core value we have, which I think is really relevant for this time period that we're in, is we have a core value of always evolving. Who we are today is obviously not who we were 36 years ago. It wasn't even who we were a year ago, right? We're always taking a hard look and being critical of ourselves and saying, what can we do better? What are the weaknesses that we have? How do we shore those up? Do we have the right people on our team? Do we need to make those changes? And then looking for the opportunity in the chaos. Right now with everything going on in the world, it's a horrible situation for most of the planet. That said, as a business, there are opportunities buried in this horrible thing, right? And being willing to pull yourself, where are those opportunities and how as a business do we take advantage of those? And I don't mean take advantage of the situation. I don't mean take advantage of people. I just simply, you and I were talking earlier, right, about conferences are, right, we go to a lot of shows. There's no shows to go to. All right, so is there an opportunity to do something online now? Maybe do a webinar. You were talking about an increase in webinar attendance, right? Those are the opportunities. So I think a big part of our longevity is always looking and always saying, where do we fit in on this? How do we continue to stay relevant? And okay, maybe this sucks today, but what area isn't sucking quite as much, and how do we put resources there? So I think the easiest way I can describe it is I learned from a friend and mentor, who learned it from a book. E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. And so many people get hung up on the event. This happened to me. The coronavirus, we didn't plan on this. But the event itself is not the equivalent of the outcome. Your response to it shapes that outcome. And we stumble, we make mistakes, but at the end of the day, we're always saying, okay, we're given the shit sandwich. What side of it are we going to bite into, right? That kind of approach versus we're going to sit and we're going to mope and we're going to whine about it, I think it's helped us. So great people, always willing to reevaluate and step in new directions when opportunity tells us we have to do that.
Yeah, and right now, as you mentioned, we're in the event phase, and the outcome, we're not even sure when the outcome phase is going to get there, but the response is really where we want to focus right now. And I know you had some ideas. What processes should companies implement now to help them navigate a possible recession and position themselves for future growth amongst everything that's going on?
And I appreciate what you said there about a possible recession, because I don't want to be a doom and gloom person, but I think the reality is we know a recession is coming. They're always coming. It's cyclical, right? If this doesn't trigger it, I don't know what the heck could trigger it. So from our perspective, I love the idea of weathering the recession and positioning for growth, because I think they're related. One of the challenges, and again in survival, I think, is turtling up and then missing the fact that, okay, what if I do survive this? What if I do come out of my bunker in a month and the world is still spinning and things are happening? What opportunities have I missed out on? How have I not prepared to take advantage of that future? So I would always pull back to, you've got expenses and you've got revenue, right, are two big things to focus on. And then automating and dealing with any processes around that. So for example, on a revenue side, we beat the drum on recurring revenue, right? And I think right now you're seeing the companies that had taken the effort to put in recurring revenue processes, automatic payment processing and billing. That's something we do at Tiger Paws. Our system will send the invoices and will process the payment. You don't have to touch it. So collapsing that collection time from an average of 75 days down to 0. When times are good, maybe it's not a big deal. When cash flow, so setting yourself up with a recurring revenue stream and automating the pieces required for that, controlling your expenses. And I prefer to look at it more about optimizing your expenses, right? Like all the installers, right, and all the technicians that you've got, are they being maximized, right? We talk about utilization all the time. 80% of their time should be spent towards a billable charge, right? If it's at 50%, you're completely underutilized. So building in mechanisms to capture time, to analyze that time, to see where people are spending their time, who they're spending it with, and all related to that, contract profitability, right? I'm always amazed at how many customers or new customers that I talk to that don't have any idea who of their customers are profitable for them. And you've probably seen this long enough. A lot of times the ones you think are profitable are actually eating your lunch, right? So building in the automation and the reporting mechanism necessary to know, where is my money going, and is it going in an optimal place? And if not, how do I shift it? So, we can get in all the nuts and bolts of all the things we automate, but to me, the bigger picture is, automating as much as you can of the recurring revenue generating and payment processing side, and then streamlining your operations. And I can go on for days with this, and I know this has got to be a short interview, but we're seeing it right now with all these companies that are now forced to have people work outside the office. They have a disconnect now where everybody used to be together. So a workflow engine, which we have, right, which automates really the communication of things. It tells people when something needs your attention, because you're no longer passing somebody in the hall and they're like, hey, what's going on with that ticket? Have you helped that client? So automation tools that allow that to happen, human having to be involved, those are the type of things we're talking about to people, as far as how do you get through where we are today, and then how do you have a more solid infrastructure to take advantage of the growth when it does come, because it will again come for many people.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you brought up that recurring revenue idea, because I think that integrators that want to get into more recurring revenue plays don't necessarily understand how important it is to find a partner that's going to help you kind of provide those opportunities and make sure that you'll then deliver on those opportunities. And even integrators that are currently are offering recurring revenue, they understand it better than anyone how important a partnership is in those situations. So what can integrators and service providers expect from a partnership with Tiger Paw?
Ooh, first of all, they can expect a partnership, which I think is kind of unique in this day and age. Most of our competitors, certainly in our managed IT space, have all been bought up by giant, big equity, and they're cutting staff. One of our competitors in the office equipment space sent out an email to all of their partners that said, in these trying times, we want you to know that we're not going to be able to live up to our SLA agreements while we get through this. I'm like, well, that's not the right response. So the first thing is, we operate like we're 200 people. We're a 44-person company, been doing this 36 years, been in our family for a long time. You're going to get a partnership. We care. Again, that put people first. We care. We've had customers that have been in car accidents and in the hospital, not only did Tiger Paw send flowers, but I find out 2 of my employees sent different flowers on their own because of the relationship they had. So you're going to get a company that is here for you, to help you. We help small and medium-sized business owners run better businesses. The software and the training, that's our vehicle, but our purpose isn't software. It's to help the business owners. That's something that you're going to get. You're going to get software that works. Having been around for so long, we have a tool set that gets the job done, that will do the things that we promise. You're going to get working software. You're going to get access to an 800 support line, which we have fully manned. They're all at home right now, but we're still meeting our SLAs, and you can call up on a toll-free number and talk to a human being about your challenges, and we'll help you. And we're going to do that for a reasonable fee, and we're going to be here for the long haul. So I think that's what you can expect, is somebody who's invested in your success. And the last thing I'll tell you is, one thing that we do nobody else does is we redid our licensing and pricing model. We are now one price per user for everything that we have. So there's no nickel dime. And we're not going to sell you an entry system, and then in the next quarter we're going to upsell you, and then we're going to raise your prices. You have everything. And so what's really cool to me about that is, we no longer have an account management team. We have a customer advocate team, because account managers, as you know, they're oftentimes are commissioned to upsell, right? We have nothing else to upsell. Once you become a customer, we have one mission in life, and that's for you to be happy so that you keep paying us. I mean, that's just how the world works, right? So you're not going to get anything from us other than, how you doing today? How can we help you? What are you using that you're having great luck with? What are you not using that we can get you training on at no cost? How do we help you with your business? And I think that's pretty unique to the software companies out there. We're doing things a little different.
No, without a doubt, and I know that'll speak to a lot of our audience where customer service is top of mind for any integration or managed service firm. So if anyone watching now does want to learn more about Tiger Paw and what you guys can provide from that partnership, how can they find you guys?
The easiest way is to go to tigerpaw.com, tigerpaw.com. I am so easy to find on the web. I highly suggest you reach out through LinkedIn, mention this video, or just say hi. We've also produced a 7-point downloadable document on this basic concept of surviving and thriving through a recession. So if somebody reaches out to me on LinkedIn, I'm happy to send them that as well. So lots of ways to get a hold of us. We don't care how you do it, but we would sure appreciate talking to you.
Well, I encourage everyone to reach out and do their research on Tiger Paw, because they really do provide that kind of partnership and provide that kind of insight that is very helpful to our audience members. James Foxall, CEO of Tiger Paw, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.